Welcome to another edition of the Instant Wrestling Report, alongside what appears to be a demon.
See, I told you it'd be funny. I told you it'd be funny because Hell in the Cell. See, they didn't think it was me. They didn't. You guys didn't think it was me. You guys thought it was a demon.
I just don't think it worked.
It didn't.
Maybe next time. It was worth it. It was only $2. Goodwill.
Just
in this edition of the Instant Wrestling Report, we're going to do our 2011 WWE Hell in a Cell review. Just getting off here with pay-per-view. Not too great of a pay-per-view here. Wasn't horrible. Wasn't great. It was kind of right there in the middle. But we're running it down here now. First matchup, we had Christian versus Sheamus.
Yeah, this was a pretty good opener. Not expecting this to open the show at all. Sheamus getting the win here clean. Sheamus can't. Sheamus is hugely popular right now. Everyone's he's really over, and everyone's really liking him. Yeah. And Christian just can't seem to get a break with anything. So I don't know where this goes. Maybe heading on to a title match, something like that. But this was a pretty good opener, and was not expecting this to be as long as it actually was.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be the first match either. Also, before this, seeing Christian's entrance, we also saw Miz and R-Truth actually come in the crowd and try to get their little, act like we had tickets and everything, try to get in there. Laurinaitis come out and thwarted that and kicked them out of the arena there. It would be interesting to see down the line of this pay-per-view with more of Miz and R-Truth here. But getting the match was a pretty good match. As I said in the preview, it just seems like Sheamus' role is just going to continue, and then throwing him in there with Christian, who seems he can't get any luck, he can't catch a break at all, and never seems to get on a roll. He had all that great feud that he had with Randy Orton, had produced great matches, but not really the great outcome of what really happened to both those guys there. But Sheamus winning here in a pretty good matchup, as Ryan said, he could possibly be seeing him moving on to now a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity, maybe a feud with possibly Mark Henry, which I do not want to see, but could see that role to move all the way to there. Next matchup, we had Sin Cara versus Sin Cara with the dark Sin Cara, now with dressed up in black with versus the original Sin Cara. I love the look of the new Sin Cara with the black gear. Thought that really worked well, the dynamic of that. But getting into the matchup here, wasn't horrible, wasn't too great at all, but it just, as I said in the preview, it just seemed like it was going to be just a spot fest, and it ended up really being a spot fest. They can never get organized, it seems, in these Sin Cara matches, whether it be, with the lighting that I just cannot stand, whether it be, with the spots that we continuously get shoved down our throats, it seems. They just can't ever seem to get it organized and work out well. The first part of this matchup, first couple minutes, was really great. Thought the spots worked off well and really worked off with each other to really prove that they were kind of almost equals, which I thought was really a good dynamic in this matchup. But getting in there with a spot here and then that, spun off to another spot and another spot, and it's kind of like where just keep going, and then we get to a botch, and it's just kind of, and then the crowd was dead throughout the whole thing, so it just kind of piles up onto each other. But the original Sin Cara getting the victory and a pretty predictable outcome there. Yeah,
spot fest, like we thought. I don't really know where you go from here. You can continue to keep the other Sin Cara around. I know in Mexico and other places they do that dark, twin brother type thing. On the storylines, it may work, it may draw in, the Spanish viewer, but, to me, these matches that they're having, there's no substance, there's no groundwork or anything, it's just all spot, one right after another, and it seems like they're really trying to impress. And in this match, numerous times, there was cool spots and, bad spots, but the crowd, no matter what, even if they were doing cool stuff, was not into it at all. They were dead, saying boring and stuff like that. So, I thought the new Sin Cara look was cool with the new one. Sinister Cara as the name that's
cool name,
been going with. I think that's really cool. Yeah. I would definitely keep him around, but just kind of weird.
Yeah. Next matchup, we had an impromptu match for the WWE Tag Titles with champions Air Boom went up against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger.
Yeah, I thought this was good. It's funny because when JR was doing commentary, this was one of the better tag team matches we've seen on a WWE pay-per-view in a while. It wasn't great, but
proves the tag division.
Proves,
what it is.
Yeah, the tag division is where it's at. But at least they're trying. They're trying to do different things. They're trying to, progressively get better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Air Boom tag team, they're going to continue to win, and I don't know what they're doing with Swagger and Ziggler. They're trying to create this faction, and you got to have some wins. You got to. You can create a stable and have a faction, but if you're never winning, you're just a group of dudes that continue to lose. That's all I could see out of that.
Exactly. This was a pretty good matchup here. You know, really focusing on more of the young talent that they have in the Raw roster here. With Air Boom continually to look really impressive as a tag team. Their styles just form together real well here. And, you know, it'll be, as you said, with the whole, you know, formation of this kind of group they have here, so stable faction, whatever you want to call it, with all the Vicky Guerrero guys in here, they just need to really get on a roll. And I just don't think that was shown here, you know, kind of losing here or there. If they end up having Dolph, like, you know, you lose the U.S. title. It depends on how this ends up going and how this, you know, faction, you know, moves on into the future. But Air Boom getting the retain in a pretty good matchup here. Moving on now to the Hell in a Cell match for the World Heavyweight Championship with champion Mark Henry versus Randy Orton. You know, this is pretty good. I mean, for a Mark Henry match, this is the, you know, style and the atmosphere that you need to have Mark Henry in a, you know, no DQ kind of, you know, fight atmosphere, basically not really a form of wrestling match. I thought there was they really got over the fact, which really isn't hard to do, with the domination of Mark Henry in this matchup. Randy Orton really getting beat up in this match as he did in Night of Champions. And, you know, going for the RKO and having Mark Henry kick out of it, and then having Mark Henry hit the World's Strongest Slam after the punt attempt and retain clean for Mark Henry. Yeah, you know, I definitely think this wasn't a Mark Henry element type thing. Yeah. You know, what, nearly went 20 minutes. Yeah. You know, I would have not expected Mark Henry to go that long. Yeah. But, you know, that's what you get when you're the champion, Mark Henry. You got to put it in. You got to put in the effort and, you know, continually attempting to get better. Yeah. With his matches. You know, you got to think about it as him being a big man and what he can do and what he can't do. And I think this attributed him well. This match did. You know, Orton selling everything and Henry really dominating this match as a whole, feeling like, you know, one of the only real complete badass heels in the WWE. And you can't really look at it any other way. I mean, you can't just look at it and say Mark Henry is someone who would cheat a lot. No. It just doesn't work. So, I mean, Mark Henry winning here, you know, I thought it was going to happen. But, I mean, pretty good for a Mark Henry match. Yeah, pretty good for a Mark Henry match. Next up, we had a segment with Cody Rhodes coming out and saying how he wants to change things up and change the face, as his face was changed and deformed, as he wants to say, changing the face of the Intercontinental Championship and busting out the old school white Intercontinental Championship. Very nice. And I like this. I think it's something to where they want to really, you know, progress with the IC title, but they're going in reverse of it. And I think it's something that works with Cody Rhodes, the kind of old school feel that he has, and I think it works with the old IC Championship. And then we ended up having Laurinaitis come out and say that Triple H has announced that Cody Rhodes has to now compete in a match, and we had the Intercontinental title on the line when Cody Rhodes went up against John Morrison. Yeah, you know, this was unexpected. You know, Cody Rhodes still in his suit and doing his whole thing. You know, we've been joking around this for a while. With Cody with his promos just sounding like just a Sith Lord from Star Wars. Awesome. Just Sith Cody or Sith Rhodes. Just with the hood and everything. Awesome. Just, yeah, and just the way he cuts promos. But I really like the title change. I think this is, you know, and I heard a lot of talks about, you know, really trying to bring back the Intercontinental title's prestige and, you know, really bring them back to the level of the matches that they used to have. I think Cody's a talented guy. I think he could do it. I think he's over as a heel. You know, continues to, you know, retain the title over and over and over again. Didn't cheat to win this, won this clean, you know, against John Morrison. Excited to see where they go from this, and I'm definitely excited that they changed the title because I think it's a really cool new twist on things. Cody Rhodes retaining the Intercontinental Championship there. Next matchup, we had the Divas title line when champion Kelly Kelly went up against Beth Phoenix for the third pay-per-view in a row, and Beth Phoenix finally getting the Divas Championship in a very weird fashion, with her having Natalya, you know, say, "Come on, Kelly, tap out here, tap out. You're gonna give it up in this submission hold," and then decking Kelly with the microphone and having, you know, Beth win dirty, not have to win clean over Kelly Kelly. It's just really amazing to see, hitting the glam slam on her and winning the Divas Championship. You know, this is really weird. You know, and interesting at the same time. I find it really interesting in the fact that Beth couldn't beat Kelly clean. I just proves your point of the Kelly's the John Cena of the Divas. Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because I would never would have thought, you know, man, I would have just, Beth would have, you know, clean win. I just really would have thought, you know, I don't understand. It's easy to come by and you think of Beth versus Kelly, Yeah, it's just something I just would have not expected. You know, like Kelly's gotten a lot better. And, you know, one of my favorite, I'm not afraid to say one of my favorite divas in the WWE now.
You know, I really gotten a lot better, improved, and shown what, you know, she can do.
Yeah.
But that ending was just unneeded, unless, you know, they're gonna go on with some
Continue
storyline
something,
with Natalia or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
You know, I have no idea. But yeah, just that dirty win was just weird to me for some reason.
But Beth Phoenix, the new Divas champion. Moving on to the main event now, we have the triple threat Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship between champion John Cena, CM Punk, and Alberto Del Rio. This one got close to about 30 minutes. Had a lot of action in here, a lot of table spots, chair spots, using the cell, and a pretty good matchup here. And Alberto Del Rio locking John Cena out of the Hell in a Cell, unable to get back in. We thought that was kind of funny. Of what is Super Cena going to do? Run through the cell and get back in there? Couldn't find a way to get in there. And Alberto Del Rio getting the win over CM Punk and new WWE champion.
Yeah, you know, I don't understand the point of having John Cena win the last pay-per-view.
Nothing. Yeah.
The only real thing I can think of is they just do not want John Cena to lose to anybody.
That's why they throw Punk in there.
Nobody. Yeah. And they had Del Rio go over on Punk. And you just...
And not only that, you didn't even have John Cena in the same room. It's the same area as the pinfall. Man. You had to lock him outside of the cell.
Just, oh man, the match was good.
Yeah.
I thought the match was good. It was the best match on the show.
Yeah, easily.
It got, you know, a good amount of time. The spots were good. I thought the storytelling when the match was good. With, you know, Cena and, you know, Punk going after Del Rio and then kind of, you know, stopping and being like, you know what, we'll just go at it too. And it had some cool
interesting double teams where they kind of had guys like throwing on top of another guy, Del Rio looking stiff as usual, throwing guys into the steel steps and everything. And then if it got any crazier, we had, after the win, we had the cell raise up, John Cena finally get in there, and then we had Miz and R-Truth come out in their hoodies and stuff, start beating down everybody, lowered the cage back, or lowered the cell back down, and had basically seemed to be like half the roster come out and try to get inside the cell to you know, thwart that beatdown, and they couldn't do it. Finally, having to bring out the, you know, to open the door up with the cops and everything, and arresting Miz and R-Truth, and having them come out and Triple H beat the crap out of all of them. So a really interesting finish to this pay-per-view that really wants you to continue watching and see where this angle goes.
Yeah, let the bitching begin.
Yeah, here we go.
You know what? I actually liked this ending. I thought it was really cool. I actually enjoyed the thing where they locked them down.
Yeah.
They in there, they beat up everyone. They beat up the cameraman. They beat up the ref. They beat up everybody in the ring. Yeah. Everything. And then when the cops finally got in, they knew they were coming. Miz and Truth got on their knees, put their hands behind their head, walked out, and got arrested, and let it happen. I thought that was great. I liked that. You know, the idea behind this, I really think, is they're trying to get Triple H fired. They're trying to get him real mad. Yeah. And that's what happened. They had him cuffed. They were walking him out. They separated the roster. They parted them. Yeah. They let him walk out, and Triple H just lost control and just started just beating their asses. Yeah. And that's really how it seems to me.
Yeah, it was really interesting how they kind of incorporated this angle going on, also incorporating the Hell in a Cell, how they trapped them inside of there and had Miz and R-Truth beat the crap out of them. I thought that was interesting, and one thing that you people do not see, because some of you out there, not saying everybody, some of you out there are very impatient, cannot see that this just wants to continue to keep going. Because you cannot tell me that you're not going to want to watch Raw tomorrow and see what happens out of this. Yeah. That'll be interesting. But Alberto Del Rio, the new WWE champion. Thank God John Cena not coming up there. Del Rio, the new champion. Yep. This will now end our 2011 WWE Hell in a Cell review from my partner who's not a demon anymore, Ryan. It's right there. I am your host, J-Man. Thank you for watching another edition of the Instant Wrestling Report, your source for professional wrestling news, information, opinions, instantly. This is a battleground!